Muscle growth without steroids or TRT demands a choice. Either you arm yourself with the proven guide to unlock your full natural potential, or stay lost in the chaos of endless trial and error. You decide. If you're standing on the sidelines wondering how to build muscle faster than it takes to scroll through a whole ton of Liver King memes, stick with me. To build muscle without steroids or TRT at 30 or even 54 isn't easy, but it's not impossible. If you've got that relentless dedication, I've got the proven tactics. But let's get it right. Whether you're 30 or whether you're 50, the gym is but one of the weapons in the arsenal of getting naturally jacked. I'm Simon H, and for the last 42 years, I've been on that relentless quest of getting naturally jacked, collecting hard-won knowledge and actionable experience. Now today, I'm going to pull back the curtain on how I escaped the grind of traditional resistance training, a path that left my joints sore and buried me in fatigue and robbed me of time. I traded the old ways for a smarter, harder hitting style that cuts my training time in half, looks after my joints, while delivering gains that refuse to slow down. In 4 decades of grinding the iron, I've done it all. Full body workout, push-pull legs, and every intensity technique under the sun. But while I loved every rep, one truth emerged from the trenches. Recovery is king, especially when you're traveling down the natural path. 4 years ago, I unleashed the power of slow motion, high intensity training, AKA shit, and everything changed. With precision and grit, I started building muscle at lightning speed, leaving fatigue in the dust. With regular progressive overloads and extra recovery time, there was no wasted energy, no fluff, just raw, unstoppable strength, forged in the fires of controlled intensity. Now, this is part 3 of how to build more muscle than the average guy who's just winging it sitting on the other bench. Now, I want to put you in the box seat because this isn't your average workout. It's a brutal battlefield where muscle meets its match. You'll face the iron head on, lifting with precision. 5 to 10 seconds up and 5 to 10 seconds down. No momentum, no mercy, just you, the weight, and the unrelenting burn as you march towards muscular failure. Cycle 1. 1 set to failure per muscle group. 1 mission. And that is to push past the limits of weakness and forge strength like tempered steel. If cycle 1 was about the battle, in cycle 2, it's all about arming yourself for the war. To do this, you can choose to add an additional exercise per muscle group, thus increasing workout volume. 2 working sets per muscle group. Now, there are various ways to achieve this. So my prime example would be to pair a compound movement with an isolation exercise. Now, you'll still need that competitive firepower to earn victory, rep by rep, and a strategic mind to smash through as many of the rep targets as possible in that 6-week period. Now, if you want a more detailed breakdown of slow motion, high intensity training, AKA shit, hit my show notes and hit the link of part 1 and part 2. Now, before I give you the jewel in the crown, which is cycle 3 and beyond, I want to ask you a really important question, because intensity and progressive overload matter. And with that said, here's the question. Your workout playlist, whoop, whoop, has just come to life as your personal trainer. Now, which song is yelling at you to lift harder? And does it work? Write it in the comments. What's your favorite song that gets you pumped and ready to go? Because I swear you're going to need it for cycle 3. Now, the beauty of moving from cycle 2 to cycle 3 is that while you're getting stronger, you do not have to slow down and take a deload phase after every cycle, simply because with only training a muscle group once every 8 days and 3 to 4 muscle groups per workout, you're keeping a handle on fatigue and overall recovery. At the end of cycle 2, now if you've reached your strength ceiling and you've used progressive overload to the max for all your exercises, for cycle 3, it's time to go ahead and change your exercises. Now, if recovery is looking really good, cycle 3 is where you can crank up the volume like a pro without crashing and burning. To do this, you've got 2 options. Example, if your biceps are looking like limp noodles while your chest channels King Kong vibes, it's time to balance the battlefield. Target those weaker spots by adding an extra exercise to lagging areas, while easing off the already dominant muscles. This is the equal opportunity of training. Every muscle gets its opportunity to shine. Now, option 2 is something that I've been working on for the last few years, and it's an option that has enabled me to 1, add volume while keeping my intensity super high without injury, fatigue, or spending all day in the gym. Now, in fact, I'm in and out in less than 30 minutes. Now, if you're ready to break through your limits, my hybrid method combines the destruction of slow motion high intensity training, and we combine that with the wizardry of rest pause training. It's like sending your muscles to boot camp and then launching them on a Navy SEAL mission. No prisoners, no excuse, just results. For you to understand about cycle 3 in its entirety, I want to quickly swerve over to the subject of muscle fibers. Now, for the most part, they come in 3 lovely flavors. You've got the slow twitch, type 1, which are the endurance. We call them the marathon runners. And then you've got the intermediate, type 2. That's part endurance, part strength. That's like your middle child. And then you've got the fast twitch, type 2B muscle fibers. They're the Usain Bolts of your muscle, explosive with raw power. Here's how a set of slow motion high intensity training tears through and recruits all of those muscle fibers. Slow twitch muscle fibers take the brunt as you lift for 10 seconds up and lower for 10 seconds. When the slow twitch muscle fibers wave the white flag, the intermediate fibers jump in. Now, these hybrids get roasted next. Finally, the fast twitch fibers. Yes, they're your secret weapon. They come in for the kill. But shit forces these powerhouses to work over time, delivering a hypertrophy stimulus like a muscle-building delivery truck. Now, this is what happens after you demolish your slow motion high intensity set. After reaching muscle failure in your slow motion set, your fast twitch muscle fibers are temporarily fried. However, with just a 10-second rest, something incredible happens. Your body replenishes ATP, which is the energy currency for muscle contractions. Now, while you don't fully recharge, the brief rest provides just enough to re-engage those high-power fibers. Fast twitch fibers are still awake and ready to fire again before they are switched off completely. After 10 seconds rest, you're going to perform 3 to 5 normal speed repetitions, resting another 10 seconds and then repeating. Continue up to 3 rest pause sets, depending on how much gas you've got left in the tank. This approach ensures that you're thoroughly exhausting the fast twitch muscle fibers. They're the ones responsible for growth. It's like wringing every ounce of potential out of your muscles before calling it a day. This has major advantages over just performing extra exercises and sets because the rest pause sets keep your fast twitch fibers in the growth zone without burning out your nervous system. That's where efficiency meets effectiveness. Now, please remember, with cycle 3, like every training that you do, progressive overload is the holy grail of gains. To build muscle faster than the average Joe just winging it on that bench over there, you need to keep an eye on progressive overload. So here is cycle 3's blueprint and path to progressive overload. Now, if you're thinking, man, this isn't even close to the amount of volume that I usually do, I want you to remember this, in the wise words of Mike Menzer. Yes, there are thousands of different exercises you can do, but where do you draw the line? Remember, you're going into the gym just to activate the major growth mechanism with the least amount of exercise possible. A bodybuilding workout isn't an endurance contest. Now, I want to answer a question that I was posed with in part 2 of this series, and that is, can you use slow motion high intensity training with full body workouts twice a week? Now, the short answer is yes, but you're going to have to use a much higher level of tactics and strategies to get the job done. Let me quickly explain. Your goal here is to do as fewer movements but cover the most ground. To achieve that goal, where possible, choose compound movements over isolation exercises. Where possible, use bilateral exercises as opposed to unilateral movements, as this will save time and conserve overall workout energy. Now, my last piece of advice, pay ultra attention to your protein and ultra attention to your recovery. Now, speaking about protein and recovery, in my next video, I'm going to show you how I build 2 times more muscle, natural muscle, should I say, than the average Joe who's sitting on the next bench who just wings it and hopes for the best by optimizing my post-workout nutrition. Now, this will probably be the most controversial video you'll see on the subject matter, so I've got a lot to say on that. But subscribe, and I'll see you there. Peace.
We interrupt this program to bring you an important announcement.
When you download our free cheat sheet, not only will you discover the secrets to transforming your body and your life in your 50s faster than you ever imagined, you'll also discover how to gain muscle in your 50s. This will shock you, not only because of how easy it is, but the speed at which you'll see results. You'll also find how to lose weight in your 50s. We'll reveal the method that completely flips everything you thought you knew on its head. No fad diets, no grueling cardio sessions. And if you've been feeling like a dead car battery, it's time to get your energy back. We'll show you how. Now, the link for this free cheat sheet is in the description.